Welcome to the Symphony of Gratitude. This is not a performance. This is a remembrance. A tuning of the soul to the sacred frequency of all that is still good. We gather today not to be perfect, but to be present. To breathe in light, to exhale love, and to let gratitude lead us home. In this moment, we are notes in the same divine song. Your voice matters. Your heart is welcome. Your truth, your spark, your sacred thank you is what makes this symphony complete. So rise into your remembrance. Rise into your radiance. Rise into the rhythm of grace. You are not broken. You are becoming. And in the symphony, every beat is a blessing. Every breath is a bridge. And every one of us is a mirror reflecting the divine.
Welcome, everybody. That's how you spark that G vibe, by the way. I am Debbie G. Welcome to Spirituality Gone Wild. It is really great to have you here on this summer solstice, a day to just seriously get our spark on. And we have got some extraordinary people that are going to be joining us tonight. And you're going to want to grab a pen and a piece of paper because they're going to want to take notes. We have a lot of good stuff getting ready to happen. First person I'm going to bring to the stage, you all know her very well from Cielo Sober Living and Cielo Spiritual Foundation. It is Michelle Garcia. And to get us rocking and rolling in the G vibe, we are going to hand the stage over to her so that she can bring us in to our power.
Woo,
baby! Let's do it, girl. Rock on.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. Happy summer solstice to everyone. And I can't thank you enough, Debbie, for creating such a gorgeous song. The words of, I know she didn't mention this, but she actually wrote that today. It took 5 hours or more for her to put that beautiful song together. And it really reflects all of the conversations her and I have had through this year. And the words are really true to our hearts and what we really believe. And, you know, having a voice and just vibrating on a frequency, the highest frequency, which is gratitude, is such a beautiful offering on the summer solstice evening. So I'm super happy to be collectively in part to this beautiful Spirituality Gone Wild with Cielo Foundation production And it really will be in symphony. Ironically, the one gong I have, and I will take this up there to play the gong just a little for you, is a symphonic gong, because that is my most favorite one. It's 32 or 28-inch gong, and it really vibrates a frequency of allowing us to really release energy that no longer serves us. And the bowls, of which I'm going to play, are very angelic. I think it's a great way to start today's show. I brought all of them out today. Sometimes I just bring one and we just start with that to ground and center people in their loving and invoke their inner counselor and to just bring harmony to the space. But so let's see. So I always suggest that we close our eyes. Take a deep breath in. Let's do this together. Fuel yourself with life force energy, love, bringing in that oxygen, regenerating every cell of your being, your brain, all that you are. That handiwork is happening just from the inhale in. Hold it for 3 counts. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, and releasing out in a controlled way. Letting go, just letting creative intelligence, source, energy, love drop down, and you feel that groundedness you get from the exhaling out. Really think about releasing whatever doesn't serve you when we do so. And that's a breath work you can do while we are doing this, or you can until you just drop into that space of being present as a neutral observer. So my intention is to bring the deepest level of healing to myself and all concerned. You may set one at this point. Whatever it is you're working on in your spiritual curriculum. If you're not working on anything, you can just think of something right now. Deepen in my capacity to be forgiving and unconditionally loving, and speak my truth with grace and ease. It's always good. All right, let's close our eyes and go on the journey with the end. Just feeling into this resonance associated with abundance and well-being. So just really honoring that you are abundant in all areas of your life today, that your health precedes you, and just feeling into that vibration that you are whole, perfect, complete, are in divine course, beautiful, divine, loving, exudes from you, the inside out. So I promise you to play a little gong. I'm going to do just that before I close. So again, taking a deep breath in, fueling yourself with life force energy, love. Feel that breath of life in, oxygenating every cell of your being. And now, close your eyes. This is really about letting go. Just allow the vibrational energy to let you. release. Quick little journey with our visualization. I want you to imagine yourself in a body of water that you love and feel the warm sand beneath you. Imagine the wind on your face, the smell of the sea air. Feel into the moment of nowness. The water allowing you to notice the oneness that you are with nature. You Another deep breath in again. Feeling yourself and holding it for 3 counts. 1,000, 1,000. Imagine that oxygen regenerating every cell of your being as it is, doing that handiwork it does to regenerate every cell of our being. And now releasing out in a controlled breath. Letting go, and letting that creative intelligence do its handiwork for you. Beautiful. Eyes open. Feel yourself in your body. Do a little quick body scan, perhaps. How do I feel in my body in this now? From the bottoms of my feet all up and through every energy solar plex of mine. And then just thank yourself for taking a minute to do some inner work together. Collectively, we meditate. Proven fact that meditation brings down the crime rate in every town. So peace, right? We love that. So it's just a gift. So thank you for that moment shared.
That was absolutely extraordinary, honey. I love it. I love it. Today is I like what Jay just put into the chat. He put that it's time for us all to open our hearts to love and gratitude for the simple things you may have in this moment. When we shift our mindset, we shift our life. And I really appreciate that, Jay. Thank you. And I want us all to think about that. How can we open our hearts for the simple things? And I want us to also think about this. Who can we be grateful for? Whom? I'm grateful for you and all of you watching and the extraordinary people that I'm getting ready to bring up to the stage. Let me bring up first our beautiful Jay Rothman. Welcome to the stage. Welcome to the stage, Jay.
It's an honor to be here. It's been a while since I've been in your physical presence, touch presence, that is. But Michelle, it's nice to see you. And Debbie, I want to just thank you for invited me to this
Absolutely.
event that's you're so passionate about. There, who else has a last name with gratitude in it? That'd be you. And so,
Love
yes,
that.
I'm here, and I'm honored to be here.
I love that. And next to I am calling to the stage a wonderful friend of mine. This is going to be all new to you. His name is Bobby Coots. Welcome to the stage.
Hello,
See
Bobby.
if I could get myself unmuted there, and I managed to do that. So I passed the first test. What a pleasure. Debbie, I got to tell you, it's just an honor to be here. The opening was absolutely magically spectacular. And then, of course, Michelle just grounded us with just what an incredible array of sound that we were able to experience on this very special day today. You know, um, we get to show up in life with the energy that is in the moment. And sometimes we show up with energy that is, you know, effervescent and overflowing. And other times our hearts carry things that might have us wondering, does the universe even make sense? And when you come together in a space like this today, the universe starts to make sense, even when it doesn't make sense, even when everything's awry. You kind of get the feeling like it's going to be okay and that you can just breathe into the moment. And I was able to do that just now and recenter. I think everybody knows that the universe decides when people come and go. And when you have a friend who leaves earlier than planned, that can have a profound effect on you. And you may not even realize in the moment what's happening. And it wasn't until we dropped in that I really connect with the fact that my friend Chuck, who I've known for a long, long time, was asked to leave this earth way earlier than he and his family thought.
Mm.
To be able to come together today in a place like this, grounded in this energy, allows for me to honor his memory. And it wasn't what I originally intended to say, but it's just what was coming through. So I just wanted to share my gratitude to have a safe, welcome, warm, and comfortable space to just let what is be.
Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing. And my heart holds yours. It's always difficult when people that we love uh, transition. And it's always a great reminder, too, that we are here to live. So, without further ado, though, I am going to bring up a couple more people to the stage quickly, and that is the incredible Claudia Thompson. If y'all remember Claudia, Claudia is moon powered astrology. She is one of the most extraordinary women. Welcome. Welcome, Claudia.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you. Thank you for putting on this event. The solstice is such a special, special holiday. And we move into the lunar time of the year. And I don't know if you want me to say a bit about what's going on now
Almost.
or,
Almost. We're almost going to get there. I'm going to go ahead and bring
yeah.
up our beautiful Kay Schreier. Hello, Kay.
Hello.
Welcome. Welcome,
Thank
honey.
you.
Another extraordinary being. How are you today?
I'm excellent.
I absolutely love that. So, there's a couple of people that I want to mention that couldn't be here. One is Chris Palmer, who I absolutely love, and he's an extraordinary human being. He is the gratitude junkie, and we're going to hear from him shortly with a replay of a video. And also Josie Herndon, she is ill and she can't be here today,
Oh,
but we're going to hear just a little tad bit of Josie's work. We have some other people that will be joining us here in the green room, and when they come, I will bring them up to the stage. But without further ado, what I would love to do is get into some gratitude and talk about what this summer solstice means for you. And let's start with you, Jay. Yeah, I'm going to call you on the spot, yo. What's
I'm here. Well, there are three things that are in my heart today
Yes.
that I'd like to touch on as far as gratitude. First and foremost, I am so grateful that you and I got to meet, Debbie, back in, I believe it was 2017. I was still a resident of Huntington Beach, California, and we met. And I just want to acknowledge you and thank you for seeing me in that season of what I call a dark night of the soul. I just come out of a very toxic end of a unhealthy 30-year marriage, and
wow.
it had caught up with me physically. My body couldn't handle the stress, and about a year and a half into my healing journey, we met, and you saw something in me. You saw potential in me. And at that time, you invited me to join your channel, Spirituality Gone Wild. And I launched not one, not two, but 3 different podcasts. One on health, on sharing inspirational stories of how we've overcome. Second, on inspirational stories for individuals to share about their life. And the third one was a show initially called Real Men, Real Talk Raw, that eventually morphed into a talk show with 3 or 4 men called Real Men, Real Talk Live. So I want to just acknowledge and thank you, how grateful I am that you saw something in me that I hadn't even seen in myself.
Oh.
And with that, I trusted you, and you trusted me. And it was so much fun to launch and have your trust and have you as a cheerleader in my corner. The second thing I'd like to share about gratitude on is, who hasn't gone through a death of a relationship? Have any of us ever broken up, been in a relationship of some substance, and we either did the breaking or we were on the receiving end of the breaking up? And I want to share with you that I came out of a 10-year relationship. And early on in that process, I had a choice to make. Do I embrace the breakup with anger, frustration, hurt, pain, sadness, confusion, rejection, and what felt like abandonment? Or I chose, and this was the choice I made, to really embrace the breakup, what I called grace and gratitude. And the reason I chose that path was because I didn't want to live in anger, resentment, bitterness, any more than I was already feeling the emotions that I was in. And I made a conscious decision that I wanted to embrace the breakup with grace and gratitude. Something as simple as this, Bobby. Can I be grateful for what we had? Can I embrace the gifts that I received over those 10 years of that beautiful relationship? And that was a choice I made. I chose to be thankful. Thank her, thank Divine Source for placing her in my life when he did, so that we can grow together. We can expand together. And we got to do that. And when a relationship ended, not by my choosing, but by hers, I had a choice to either be in anger, confusion, or I embrace it with grace and gratitude. And I chose grace and gratitude. And it was a beautiful 6 months. As painful as it was beautiful because I gave myself permission to feel my feelings. I gave myself permission to feel the sadness, the pain, but also to honor the memories of what we had for a decade with grace and gratitude. And that was such a a beautiful way to really hone in on the death of a relationship. And through that process, I freed myself from the sadness. And in doing so, I opened my heart to divine source. And what I said was, I will trust you, God. You will know when I'm done grieving, when I'm done honoring with gratitude the relationship for a decade. And I will trust you, God, that when I'm done, you will place a beautiful soul in my path. And that's exactly what happened. And I wasn't looking for it. One of the things I said to myself was, I have no interest in dating sites. I have no interest in chasing the next soul in my life. What I had the desire for was to trust divine source, that when I'm ready to embrace with gratitude, grace, and love the next beautiful soul in my heart, that source will place in my path that beautiful soul. And he did. And it's only been weeks, but I tell you what, it's been weeks of grace. It's been weeks of gratitude. And my heart is open today to share and experience love without pain. And there's a third thing I want to share that I'm grateful for. I don't know how much time do I got left. I want to honor the 15. I'm okay, Debbie?
Yeah, you're good in the hood.
When I was 54 years old, a decade ago, yes, I just aged myself, I came close to death. Very close to death. My body was in shutdown mode. One of the areas was I had a blood clotting disorder, very rare one, that created blood clots throughout my body. And one of the areas was, besides the heart, was my legs. If I was to tell you that I climbed that mountain right behind my head to the summit without an artery in my leg, you may not believe me. But it is my truth, because I believed it was possible that I could self-heal, even though Western medicine said it's impossible. Your leg needs to be amputated if you don't have arteries. But I believed that through the power within here, within my own heart, my own mind, that I can create new vessels and veins in my leg. They're not arteries. They're much smaller. So when I walk and when I hike with pain. But on that day, when I climbed to the summit of Thunder Mountain, which has no trail, it is a primitive mountain range, third highest in Sedona. There's a fatality on average every 3 years. But on that day, when I made the decision without an artery in my leg to believe it was possible that I could climb that mountain to the top with my legs still on, without it being amputated, when I believed it was possible, not only did I make it, but I made it to the summit. And it was the first time in my life I met a part of myself I had never met before, who I call today the humbled warrior. No longer the fighting warrior, the humbled warrior, because I was humbled by my strength, by my inner strength. And for that, I was so grateful. And for that, I will always be so grateful for those that held me, believed in me, celebrated with me in gratitude and in love. Debbie, thank you for being one of those people that saw me early on. So yeah, I'm a man that lives in gratitude every day. And my work with, I get bookings with men and women that come into Sedona to do I Can Heal experiences. And my work is to bring them home, to bring them home to their own heart, to their own soul, the love of self. I do it in either a 3-hour or what I call an Into the Wild, where we go the whole day. And I guide them home to return to love. And when we return to love, we get to experience in a relationship with gratitude. And for that, I will forever be grateful and live in grace. Thank you, Debbie, for seeing me then and now.
Well, Jay, the thing is that it's really easy to see true heart and it's really easy to see souls. And I want to acknowledge and honor this process that you just went through, but I also just want to honor you in that strength that you've had and you've held through like every time, the shit may have hit the fan and it may have came up and you're like, I can get through this. You and I've known each other for a minute and there's some other people in here who've known me for a minute. When it comes up to how that we go through challenges, gratitude and grace is it. When you can find the gratitude in the very thing that feels like absolute royal hell, that's when you know that you are absolutely, you're climbing that mountain and you're hitting the top and you're rocking it. And you know what? Nothing's impossible. Zero's impossible. And I just want to thank you for being a shining example of what zero impossible looks like. And I want to see if anybody else wants to speak to what Jay had to say. But before I do that, I really need to take a second because we have the beautiful, darling Radiance who has joined us. And the amazing, the one, the only, Prince Fleet Easton. Welcome. I am so stoked that you're here. And David Reed Watson, we love you. I see you. We're going to be taking a break here in a few moments after we all get a chance to share about what Jay has had to say. And then we're going to hear from some of our other panelists about gratitude and about the ways that they have faced life's challenges and really stood up and said, I can do this. So go ahead.
Before we go there, Deb, there's one thing I want to just piggyback and just add that.
Piggyback. Baby back. Go ahead.
That moment when I made it to the summit behind me, what I embraced was gratitude. What I embraced was meeting a new part of myself I had never met before, who I referred to today as the humbled warrior. That moment was the moment that defined the humbled warrior within me. Because up until that moment, I'd spent most of my life what I call as the fighting warrior. Mm-hmm. But that day, I surrendered. The fight was over. That day, when I met me, I met a part of myself I had never met before. I met the man that believed it was possible, that I had the strength, I had the courage, I had the drive, I had the mindset, that I could defy the odds and I could make it to the summit. And that day was the day that I was humbled. And I will be humbled for the rest of my life.
I think that's beautiful. Who would like to take the stage and speak for a moment on what Jay has shared? Raise that. Oh, Radiance. Please. What's up, baby? What's
Hi,
up?
beauties. Easton, just saying hello for a moment. Jay, thank you so much for your share and your heart and your warrior spirit that turned into that humbled spirit up on top of the mountain. really felt. I wrote down a few things because I take lots of notes in my journal, and it was very inspiring. It's all the time. I'm always writing in here. I'm like, oh my gosh. So, the weeks of grace, that just really landed on my heart space. Your weeks of grace statement of during the grieving process. Um, I have been significantly enhanced within this grieving cycle in my life. And to know that you climbed a mountain with it when I feel like I climb a mountain every day is, it just really sat with my heart. And I really love that you were talking about this, you're in 11 years ahead of me. And I'm there at 53 sitting here and I'm like, how am I going to make it? This is so excruciating, like the excruciating moments. And a part of this journey that I've experienced, I was crying so hard like a week ago in my truck. And, like when all this stuff is just pouring out of your nose and your eyes. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I just decided to turn it into complete laughter because I was like, how precious is it that we get to be human and experience the most excruciating pain of love and then like turn around and like 10 minutes later like, look at that cute baby, oh my goodness, this is so amazing. So like we get the full density all packed into like this one little tiny life. And so I felt you up on the mountain, if we can call into lifetimes from the top of that mountain. I just cast it out from to around the world from where you were. And I want to know that I wrote it down, Alma Hermano, my soul brother. So grateful. Thank you for your journey.
Thank you for seeing me.
Woo! Now we know why now we know why she's reading it. Oh, okay. Who else wants to speak to this?
I want to say to Jade that thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing your humanity. I don't know, anyway, it just touched me. I mean, and also just to sit with somebody and let them just be who they are, not fixing it, not trying to do anything other than just being with them. It's pretty extraordinary too. So you had some big angels on your side. And also for believing you never gave up. If you had to heal yourself, that you never, it's not like losing faith, but you just never, it's not going to happen. I have a purpose for being here and I'm going to honor my purpose. So whatever I got to do that, that's what I got to do. So you just sort of took charge of your own life.
I love that, Kay. And one thing that I learned, Kay, was my purpose shifted. I was no longer here to create restaurant design. Almost 4 decades in that very successful career. But what I shifted to was when I came home to my own heart, my own soul, through my own journey of self-healing, I knew that it was time for me to be rebirthed in the work I do. And I left a very successful career that spanned just shy of 40 years to become a soul guide, transformational coach, where I guide men and women back home to their heart, to their soul that they've abandoned, most likely when we became an adult. And I do the work, most of it on the land. On occasion, I do it in an office space. But this is what I live for. I live for the opportunity to guide humans back home to their soul, where all their lovers, all their grace and all their gratitude comes from the soul. And that's the work I do today. And it's very rewarding as that humbled warrior. There's no ego in the work I do today. It's all soul. It comes from the soul. It's for the soul. And it's to honor the soul.
And I love that. And speaking of soul, it reminds me that I have in my hand here these beautiful, incredible, nurturing cards by Michelle Garcia. And there's something that Michelle in this card, and I love these. I don't know if you guys can see these or not, but it says, I am rooted in divine loving. I am rooted in divine loving. And I think that really what this is about in this human experience is tapping back into the loving divine beingness within us and understanding that we're all just fucking human. We're all perfectly imperfect humans, and that none of us have gotten this right or wrong. And you can't really screw it up that badly because we're all sitting here. What the hell? And I want to thank, I mean, anybody like screwed up so bad that you're not here? I haven't, not yet. Just saying. So, yeah, I say spark that G vibe because it is your gratitude vibration, your good vibration, your God vibration. It's whatever vibration you want it to be, but it is the vibe, baby. And we're here sharing about extraordinary experiences with extraordinary outcomes because we're extraordinary human beings. And Catherine has raised her hand. Thank you, Catherine. We appreciate that because, yes, exactly. Exactly. So I absolutely love that. And Michelle, can you just tell them really quickly about these cards?
Well, sure. Am
Thank you,
I
baby.
not on mute? Okay. So, thank you, Jay. Just that was a beautiful share of your story and your gratitude, and I love that you can hike and have shifts happen with nature like that. I recall that happening for me too, and I think it's a beautiful thing, and it's pretty cool that you make a living doing that with people because you get to do what you love, and that's a no wonder that you healed so fast and were open to another new beautiful. I think we have a lot of soul relationships in our lives. Like I feel like, we don't just have one soulmate in a lifetime. I mean, maybe the doves and certain people are, designed that way, but I mean, I've had many, and I think it's a beautiful thing to just embrace that closure and then a new experience. We get to continue to grow and share. And I think that if you have something good and you share it, it's twice as good. So kudos to you. I enjoy the journey. I wrote those cards because, well, I was writing a book, and then I was doing creating poems and such with visuals, and Debbie was like, "These are so good. You should literally like. I feel like you could write a deck of cards with it." So she actually inspired that. And then if you notice on the back of the cards, it has three quotes. And they're nurturing cards. So it's in honor of nurturing, every aspect of your being, cognitive, spiritual, emotional, physical, and joy and well-being. And there's examples of, different ways that you could do so. But then there's a card, more importantly, where you would write maybe, one to three different ways you would implement that in your week or your, for your routine, so that you could cultivate those aspects in a balanced way. Really tracking gives you the opportunity to track, the things that, often we have strong suits, but it's not enough to focus on our strong suits. It's really good to focus on what we're not so good at and cultivate that. Or even if we are good at something, it's like, what new exercise for my joy and well-being would I like to do? What new spiritual practice could I implement? And it's just fun and it's engaging. And, at the time that I just finished it, my grandma passed away of dementia. And it was, uh, it was just obvious to dedicate the deck to her. So I did that, and I was able to give everyone, some at the burial, and then Monday will be the actual, you know, um, ceremony, and in honor of a lot more people. And it's a beautiful thing to um, to give love to the transcend the how can I put it? Like how our soul transcends. I feel it. To really honor the good of what they were, and to be able to give that to people who have been so intensely, like my aunt, caregiving her for quite a while there, was a blessing. just so important for us to take care of and learn how to nurture ourselves, so that's kind of and it's like I charge $11.11. I don't think I've taken any money for any of them yet, but I think they're a fun way to. I learned a little bit of a more elaborate version of that when I was doing my master's program for spiritual psychology. It's one of the things that we did there, and you can make them themes like But anyway, it's a fun exercise. So there you go.
Thank you, baby. So y'all, you can get that at CLO soberliving.com right here. There's the website. All right. And
Spiritual Foundation.
yeah, that was,
Okay.
All right. So y'all listen, we're going to just take a quick breather and a quick break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to hear a little bit from our other guests that are here, and they're going to share about some of their life experiences, gratitude, and how that it has shifted for them. What are they bringing to the table? Well, I just don't know. I don't know, but it's going to be awesome. In the meantime, we're going to hear from an amazing friend who is not here. His name is David Reed Watson. So enjoy this short break. We will be right back.
Sitting on this lonely bridge doesn't seem that far to fall. I've failed almost everyone, me
Okay, and we are back. Hello, everybody, and
What a,
thank you to David Reed Watson.
that was a beautiful song.
Isn't it? It's 7 minutes long though, and I love you, David, but we could only take a short break. And we're going to hear from Chris Palmer, and we're going to hear from Josie Herndon and some other people that couldn't make it. But first, I want to actually, we've got someone here who I really want to introduce to you guys. His name is Bobby Coots. And Bobby was kind enough to jump in here, and he's got this amazing book that he wrote with Chris, and it's called Awareness Reimagined. And it's quite phenomenal. It's a fantastic book. But my favorite is called The Someday Solution. It's how to go from unsure to unstoppable one day at a time, which I think is fantastic. Bobby, welcome to the show. Welcome to Spirituality Gone Wild. And I'm going to go ahead and put the spotlight on you. Here we are.
Well, thank you. You're a beautiful human being. Just an incredible, amazing, amazing soul. Before we jump into anything about what I've done, I wanted Jay to know about something that happened for my brother, who's actually living in Sedona right now. And this is really cool that we're here together, because now I can connect the two of you, and maybe you guys can go have coffee or something. He had a broken rib, and he and his wife were out for a hike, and this thing just wouldn't heal. It just simply would not heal. And this was going on for a long time. They were in the area of the vortex. I know you know where that is. And he laid down, and it was warm. So he laid down anyway on the stone, and he told Marcia, his wife, he said, "I'm not getting up until I'm healed." He was so sure it was going to happen, and he was so committed to it happening that it happened. And it was gone. Like, literally, can you imagine being in so much pain that you can barely stand it, laying down, asking for divine healing, saying that you're not going to get up until you're healed, and then getting up healed? And that's led to a whole other set of healing that's taken place for him from some childhood trauma that he's been dealing with and that he's walked through. And anyway, I got a chance to visit him there in Sedona. And before you ever get into Sedona, the energy starts to shift, and you can feel it all around you. And the next thing you know, like, you don't have any problems. Whatever problems you had when you drove in, they just kind of drift away. And then I went out and went for a few hikes and did some things, and it was incredible. But I will say, since Debbie asked, and I'll go back maybe briefly to the book, having the opportunity to write this book with my friend Chris Palmore was an incredible, incredible gift. Awareness Reimagined is an idea that came to me last year when I was at an Unplugged and Unbound retreat in the Poconos with Jeffrey Davis from Tracking Wonder. And I was having a conversation. I was actually bragging about Chris to a friend, telling her all about gratitude and how, gratitude was basically just everything in his life. And as I was explaining this to her, she says, "Wow, that sounds like the Encyclopedia of Gratitude." And I'm like, "Wow, that's an interesting title." I said, "I think that's going to be the name of a book." So this book started out being Encyclopedia of Gratitude. But interestingly enough, people really don't, and this is kind of crazy, and I don't know why, but people aren't looking for gratitude as a thing when they go out and search. But awareness was a topic that a lot of people seemed to be searching for. So we wrote essays. We took each letter of the alphabet, and so there's an entry by Chris, and there's an entry by me for each letter of the alphabet. And then we had 4 beautiful ladies offer a contribution. So there's 4 separate writings in here as well, all letters that people picked. And what we did is we picked one letter that was construed or typically looked at as positive, and maybe another letter that might be considered negative. And then we related it back to gratitude and said, okay, how could we use gratitude to change basically our interpretation of what that word might mean? Could we find gratefulness in the word? And we did. And it was just an absolute blast to write. So much great feedback from people that have taken the time. And the beauty of it is it's one, these are 500-word essays. So in all sincerity, the best place for this book really is in the bathroom. You just put it like on the shelf in the bathroom, and then you pull it out, and you don't want to carry your phone to the bathroom anyway. That's kind of gross, right? So if you're trying to break that carry your phone to the bathroom habit, then you just get Awareness Reimagined, and you sit in the bathroom and you read a 500-word essay, and then you move on with your life. It's just a really good way to approach that. But anyway, I want to take a minute real quick though and speak about Debbie. I still don't know exactly how our relationship kind of has unfolded the way that it has, but it's unfolded in kind of a beautiful, divine way. And I originally showed up because I met Debbie through Chris, and I think we did a little episode, a little show together or something. We had a conversation, and the next thing you know, we started talking about, writing another book. So, Debbie's working on a couple of books, I think. And, we were going to write this little book called Gratitude Soup for the Soul, which I think still would be an amazing book, and that may still happen. But she's got some other books that I think need to be written first. But she has awakened something inside of me that had been asleep for a very long time. And I have this immense appreciation for her humanity and for the spirit and the light that she brings to each day. And just the other day, we were talking about Wayne Dyer, and I mentioned that I love the Tao, and she's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. She said, I'm doing the Tao. So here I am now on another journey, going back through each day, a verse with the Tao. And it was because of the conversation that I had with her. The reason I bring this up is, it's really easy to kind of get stuck in our own stuff. And in life, whatever's going on, we do have to do the work. We alone can do the work, but we don't have to do it alone. So when I think about what Jay's doing, I think about what Debbie's doing, I think about, everyone that showed up here today. This was a choice to be here. There's 100 other things that anybody could be doing in any given moment, but she has enough of an impact on you as a human being to make you want to be right here, right now. So I think that says a lot about who Debbie is as a person. And I just wanted to make sure that she understood before I said goodbye, because I don't want to talk much longer, how much it's meant to me to have made this connection with you, even though it's mostly virtual. I mean, we shared a meal one time, which was really kind of cool. But for the most part, like most of the relationships that I have with a lot of people, like all of you right now, it starts online. I mean, the relationship with Chris was online for years before I ever actually met him. And then I finally went to Louisville and met him in person. And while I was there, we recorded an audiobook for him and recorded the audiobook version for my book, The Someday Solution, and had an incredible experience. And he and his wife, Rocio, were just out here in Vegas. And I took them out and around, and we went to the dam and had a good time together. I feel like I'm rambling, and I don't ever like that to be the case. I wanted to offer one thing about what you see on the screen very quickly, though, about the Earth Artist and where that comes from. I went my entire life not knowing there was an artist inside me. And I say my entire life, I mean my entire life. On December 1st of 2021, I watched a YouTube TED Talk, a gentleman by the name of Graham Shaw. And his whole premise for the talk was, people tell themselves they can't draw. I'm here to prove you wrong. And at the time, I was just wanting to learn how to draw enough to be able to do visual journaling, because I wasn't able to, maintain a consistent journaling habit, not like Radiance, who writes everything down. And I wanted to take a different approach, right? So I thought, wow, if I could just draw it, but there was this problem. All I could draw was like these ugly stick figures, and that was kind of it. Well, by the time I finished this TED Talk with Graham, he had everybody in the audience, because the TED organizers put a little pad underneath each seat along with a pencil, and every single person had drawn this little cartoon character, Spike. I wrote on the little piece of paper that day next to Spike, I wonder if learning to draw could be as easy as a commitment to learn. and then I started drawing. And within 6 months' time, I went from drawing this little, character of Spike to drawing this incredibly beautiful tiger that's probably the most amazing piece I've ever created. So much so that I didn't think I was the one that drew it. And I still don't feel like I'm the one that drew it. Truthfully, my hand was used by God to create something. I truly believe that, and I still believe that to this very day. And I think what happens is when we make ourselves available, the work comes through us. And I think what's happening right here, right now on this screen is everyone that's here showed up to allow the work to come through them. We don't know what's inside of us. Unless you've given yourself permission for whatever it is that's going to come through, there's no way to know what will emerge. But if you make yourself available, I assure you of one thing. Whatever it is, it will find its way into you and then out into the world if you make space for it. Thank you.
Hot damn. That was great. That was fantastic. If you guys want to find the books are available on Amazon, so you can find them there. And I really highly encourage it. Plus, you can also get them on audio. So, well, Someday Solutions on audio.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also some other stuff that you've done with Chris that's really amazing too. The Gratitude, was it the Gratitude Junkie? What book is it that you also you didn't co-author it, but you did an
Well,
audio?
I offered my art to his little book, the Little Book of Grief, Grace, and
That's it.
Gratitude,
Yep,
which is
yep.
an incredible little book for anybody that's going through any kind of a grieving process.
Yeah.
It's really a little book that Chris wrote to honor the life of his sister and his mother, who he lost both of them, and lost such a horrible word, right? You lose your keys, you don't lose a person, right? He experienced the death of his mother and he experienced the death of his sister, both to breast cancer. And to try to make sense of his life, he wrote this little book because at the hospice unit at the hospital where he had to go through this for both of them, there was a Bible and a People magazine. And he thought to himself, man, there should be something in between. Well, they say the book that needs to be written is the one that you really need yourself. So he took it upon himself to write that book. He wrote a beautiful little book called The Little Book of Grief, Grace, and Gratitude. And I offered my art to it along with a friend to make the book just a little bit bigger by putting some pictures in it. Yeah.
That's very cool too. Thank you for doing that. And I love that. It's being of service, showing up.
Yeah.
And what I heard you say is that when it's inside of you and you're paying attention to it and you're really honoring it, that the flow comes out of you, that it comes through you, that God source energy, whatever you choose to call God, just just do something. Okay.
Yeah.
Believe in something, please, out there, just something.
Yeah.
But that is the truth. And I think we have a panel of incredible co-creators sitting right here. Incredible co-creators. And I do have a message from Chris that we'll hear in a little while. But I would like to know, we haven't heard much from Claudia. We haven't heard from Prince Fleet Easton yet. And I'd like to know if they'd like to speak to what Bobby had to say.
Could I very quickly just honor Michelle for the work that she does in the space that she's in?
Can we please?
Yes. I will celebrate 35 years clean and sober on the 4th of July. And that doesn't happen without a whole bunch of support. And it happens from the support that comes from people just like her. So I wanted to honor you and the work that you do. So important. I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't be here at all had it not been for the people that carried me in the early days of my journey. So thank you for the work that you do.
Absolutely. I'm so grateful you just honored Michelle, because Michelle is one of my best friends, but she's also an extraordinary human being out in the world of recovery. And if anybody is in need of a sober living home where they practice mind, body, spirit, and the healthiest eating ever, she's seriously could teach y'all something about food. CieloSoberLiving.com, CieloSoberLiving.com. Please give Michelle a ring-a-ding. She is in the Coachella Valley, and that's where you will be able to find her. So now let's hear for some people who want to share about what Bobby was shared? Bleedy, you're muted, baby. Do I need to unmute you? This is Prince Fleet Easton, and we're going to be sharing something extraordinary for him that I just found. I got you, Fleet. Nope, I can't. You have.
I got it now.
Shout!
It wasn't showing me my microphone. Okay. Well, I just want to honor Bobby. It's really wonderful on your journey, especially your sobriety. And you know, I have many friends who traveled that road and have found their path and are still on. They're still on their path. And thank God that they had a revelation that brought them to that place. You know, sometimes you have to hit very bottom to actually realize that you have an issue. You know, you can talk to people all you want. You know, they're not going to hear it until they're ready, till they hit that bottom. And but you know me, I'm not a man of a lot of words. I am a man. I do. And
Yeah,
it's
you
really,
do.
it's well, it's a little challenging me to talk because, you know, it's just like we're really good on one-on-one, but when I come on some of these shows, you know, I'm a music minister, and that's kind of like what Michelle does, you know, and that's how I share my spirituality with people. And I think you found something of mine that you're going to show.
I did actually. Yes, I did.
Yes.
And right before well, we'll do that on our next little
Okay.
wiki break. But right
Sure.
before that we do that, I just want to hear from Claudia really quick because I just need to hear your voice.
Uh-oh.
You're muted, baby.
There you go.
Now?
There you go.
Okay. Yeah. Well, of course, I've been, you know, in my language, which is astrology and what's happening, but I think about both what Jay said as well as what Bobby said, and the gift that you are, Debbie, and the gift that you have to see people at a time when, I mean, when I met you, I think it was in 2017 too, at an event. And at that point, I was suffering from nuclear radiation from Fukushima. And so I was covered from head to toe. Debbie didn't know this, but I went through 5 years of just being in isolation by myself and allowing my skin to peel completely from my cheekbones down for 3 years. Well, now it's been how many years? And I sit here in my own radiance, and I'm just so grateful for every breath. I got through it by being grateful and by dropping into my heart. That was the key. That was what Spirit told me I had to do. The person who went with me on my journey is passed away from cancer. So I'm very, very fortunate. But Debbie brought me back out into the world on a weekly basis when I was not stepping out into the world at all. So I live in gratitude. I walk in grace. You know, I know some of the people here, and I'm grateful for them in my life every moment, every day. And to celebrate a solstice, I've been celebrating solstice time as a solitary for a long time. So I'm really, really grateful to all of you for being here, the new faces, the ones that I already know, and for all of our journeys. I mean, I've got you all beat age-wise, let me tell you. So it does get better. It does. And I'm in my 9th decade, almost. It's hard to believe. I'm finishing my 8th. You know, the first one is from 1 to 10, right? That's the first decade. So it's just, you know, life is the best game going. And gratitude is alchemical. And Debbie and I talk about this because when you go into gratitude, then more comes for you to be grateful for. And we're all amazing on our journeys. The lessons, for me anyway, the lessons never stop. They just keep on keeping on. And when I think that I've sculpted away, peeled away all the layers, another one shows up. And so I ask always to move, first of all, into love for myself and for whomever that teacher is at the time, and then alchemize it into gratitude for the experience. So I'm just grateful for all of you and sitting here vibrating in gratitude and recognizing that we are moving into this lunar time of year when we're asked to really nurture our souls. So lots of love to everybody.
Gotta nurture those souls. Thank you. And I love you, baby.
I love you too.
I
You
mean,
know that.
could I seriously be any more blessed? Really, really, just look at these faces, all of you online. I fucking love you. Gosh darn, man. I love you, but I want to remind you all something, that you are worthy and deserving, that you are so divine, and that you are worth being loved fully, fully, and embraced and just completely held. Start with holding yourself, though. That's really what I got to tell you. Because if you can't do it for yourself, nobody else is going to do it for you. Just saying. In fact, I think a good old self hug sounds like a plan. Just get into a little wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. We're going to spark that G vibe again. Because that's how that works. Ooh, ooh, get it, baby. Get it, baby. Mm-mm. Ha. God, I love you guys so much. Rock it. Now, we're gonna take just a quick little breaky break because I'm going to play something from our darling Prince Fleet Easton. This is such a, I can't even right now. I am so excited to share this. I can't. So I'm gonna share it. This is so cool.
You raise the bar, elevate my heart when you give me that kind of love, oh yeah. A love that's never far away, butterflies feel every day. Your love is real and I think it's on time and never late. Your eyes tell me a true love when I can't help but dance. It's a love that never fades, it always lets you know. A love that survives from highs and lows, and nothing can bring us down. It's a kind of
Woo!
I like so needed that. That would like completely spark my G vibe. I don't know about y'all. Anybody
That'll
else get
get you. That'll
sparked?
get you on the dance floor and get your. That'll elevate your heart.
I want to say hi to the audience. Krista, the Galactivators are in the house. Hey, I love you guys. If you're going to be in the LBC this week, I don't know if it's this weekend, but I posted it on my Facebook page. You can go check out the Galactivators. They rock. Seriously, they just like raise the vibration of the planet. We have a few musicians in the house right now, so can we just like give Fleety a big ol' hello? I'm going to tell you something about Fleet, and because I love edification. In fact, edification is probably my favoriteest way to express gratitude, period. And I want to appreciate how you all edify me. And Fleet, this young man here. Oh, Fleet. There was a time when, have you ever had one of those moments where people are doing this? They're talking, and you might be the person they're talking about, because who gives a shit why? It doesn't matter. And there was one person who didn't put up with it. There was one person who was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. And it was Fleet. Fleet is one of those that I got your back before you know that you need somebody to have your back, who is just one, but he does this in so many ways. We are the cross pollinators. We would hit Palm Springs to do events, and we would do a rock and roll. We did a rock and roll winter solstice. Apparently, I like solstices. Okay. So we would hit it, and we would hit the streets, cross pollinating like crazy, having more fun than you could ever imagine. But this young man here is just amazing and has always had my back. And if you can see him perform, whew. Okay, so that's the last time I got to I got to go dancing with Michelle, and then I got to come dancing with Kay and with Fleety, and I was like pretty stoked about that. But then we all get together when I'm there, and we all go have lunch, and I love you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, we had some great times in the car.
So
Yeah, we came up with the Mystic Mixer, and that was the first event, and that was sold out. That was it was
packed.
Sold out event. Yeah, it really was.
It was rocking, man.
We went around the car and got donations and stuff. We had a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, we had prizes to give away. It was way too much fun. It was just an amazing experience. I mean, Fleety, Bobby said he kind of knew you because I sort of talk about you a lot. I mean,
okay.
I can't help it, Fleet.
I was gonna say, I think possibly we met at the same event at Josie's that Claudia was there. Is that the same one in 2017?
No, I met you with Joan of Angels.
Oh well, yeah, but Josie was there.
Oh, she was there. Oh yeah, Josie.
And that's when all my family had passed. I lost all my family within 10 months, and it was devastating. And then I lost the president of my fan club, and I lost 5 people within 10 months, and it was very hard and challenging. And I got to it.
And your partner.
Yeah, it was.
Yep. But that's the thing is that when it's time, the people who you need in your life show up.
Yeah.
And grief has always reminded me that I'm not living. What am I doing? What am I doing? Mm-hmm. I don't think I'm living. Once I get through the pain of it.
Yeah.
And the grief comes in every arena. Every time something shifts or changes, mm-hmm. we grieve that thing that's within inside, because it was part of us, whether it was a human being, whether it was, something else we were doing, a job, a career, it doesn't really matter. If it is a shift and a change and something that us humans go, shit. Well, that's when we go, oh, wait a minute, this is grief. And we honor that process versus fighting and resisting against it, No, I'm not going to do it. Yeah. Tug of war. Yeah, I never win in tug of war. Anybody else? Just asking, just curious. Did you win? I didn't win. No, my hands got really red, though.
Well, what was interesting, it shifted my whole perception now.
Totally, right?
And now I look forward to when I cross over the veil, we'll all get together and say, "Oh my God, you remember when we did this? Remember when we did that?" and all. And next time now when we come back on our next time around, okay, who are you going to be, and who am I going to be, and how are we going to, our soul contracts, So it's shifted my whole perception that I don't see that anymore as a loss.
Mm. I love that though, because it's the truth, though it feels like it at the time. And I honor everybody
Yeah.
here who has just been through. I mean, when somebody passes, when they and they decide I'm done, it hurts. We miss their physical presence
Right.
completely. I want to give a shout out really quick, Christy Galactica. The Galactivators are performing tomorrow at Syncopated Brewing in Lakewood, California for the solstice. Everybody just go check out the galactivators.com. You can go check them out. They are awesome. They have been on so many cool shows. I just love them. They just raise the vibe. Like I see them at the Bhakti Fest or wherever I go. We're just galactivating like crazy, and it's just so much fun. So
Allie was just commenting,
yes.
"Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's the Galactivators." She's like, "I see them on TikTok all the time. They're so cool." So that's shout out to you guys. Obviously, you're making a positive impact on the people here in my community. So I personally, yeah, there you go. Lots of hearts. She thanks you back, Allie. So
Hi, Allie. Hey, Allie, how are you doing tonight? What's your gratitude? How are you going to spark the G vibe tonight?
Well, we were talking about what is summer solstice. What does that mean? It means it's the longest day with the shortest night. And so then I asked her to look up what energy does the sun bring, and what energy does that in fact bring? Can you guys hold it 1 second? And it was well, I love that it was enlightenment, and that it was also the most amount of solar energy. And one other thing, what was it? But I like enlightenment, of course. So here's Allie.
Hello,
She's helping
everyone.
me with all
Hi,
that.
Allie. Welcome to
Nice to
Spirituality
see
Gone
you.
Wild.
Thank you
Woo!
so much. I've really been enjoying this so much. So thank you for having us participate.
I love you.
I love you too.
Everybody, let's just give Allie some big kudos that she's showing up on camera here, and she's been going through some stuff. We're going to send her a lot of love and vibes and energy. Woo,
Thank
baby.
you so much.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I know who can speak to the summer solstice, and I think we should just put the spotlight on her. And Claudia, I'm going to call you out, and then we're going to be needing to hear from Kay and Radiance at some point here. But Claudia, are you ready to take the stage?
Yeah.
All right, baby. Here we
Well,
go.
So, as Ali said, longest day, and then the light starts to diminish. But this time in Cancer, it's water sign, and we've got planets in every element. So that's very cool: air, fire, earth, and water. And really, I think when I think of the summer solstice in terms of lunar holidays, it's 6 months after the winter solstice. And we conceived something in the depth of the dark in the winter. And now that infant is coming forth. And we get to look at how we nurture ourselves and how we're going to create a nursery for this new way of being that's being birthed. And it's the infant, it's also the divine mother energy in all of us. And it asks us to look at what constitutes emotional security in our lives. It also draws our attention to the belly. So I'm really big on heart drop and breathing in and out of your heart. But if you put your hands on your belly and just make sure that you're breathing all the way down into your belly. It's highly intuitive energy. This is the energy of feelings and emotions. It reminds us that you got to feel it to heal it. Every phase of the year is 6 weeks long. So we'll be in this solstice energy for 6 weeks, but particularly at the new moon coming up on the 25th in Cancer. So we've got this energy of fertility and new beginnings and abundance, and play. This energy, Cancer, with being a child, really reminds us to play. Are we playing enough in our lives? And I know when Fleet's song came on, I was up and dancing. I love that. So It reminds us to, to dance with life, take care of our health. And we are in such a wild, chaotic time as far as not just on Earth, but the planets. I mean, it just doesn't seem to stop. But we're really being moved along fast. We're being bumped up really, really fast. And I mentioned before that we now move into the lunar part of the year more and more and more. And we are 70% water. So just being grateful when we take a sip of water, when we're lucky enough to immerse ourselves in water, blessing that water, knowing that the content of that water in our bodies and what the feeling that we infuse ourselves with is what manifests the reality that we live. So it's a great time to look at what's taken shape in your life. Where are you compared to where you thought you'd be on December 21st? And really, we're in a time, I mentioned the elements. We've got things going on with the outer planets that is unprecedented in many lifetimes, not just this lifetime. But Saturn and Neptune and Aries remind us to look at the long term, be willing to take things step by step, nurture our ideas, look at what our ideologies are. Do they uplift, enlighten us, inspire us, or do they take us down? I don't think anybody here on this feed allows the prevailing media programming to take over their lives. But we're really reminded, with Cancer being the sign of birth and the child, we are creators. And we're creating a new world right now. We're seeing collapse of the old, but we've known, most of us were born knowing this was going to happen. And it is happening. But there is such light in this celebration and in this time and within us. So celebrate the child within you. Take that child everywhere you go. Look at what you want to introduce. If you were a brand new baby, what would you want to be introduced to in the world every day? And let fun be an operative word in your life. And remember to just breathe yourself into sovereignty through sacred self-care every day in every way you can. I love you.
Woo!
Lovely. Oh my, I just took all that in. Thank you. Thank you, Goddess.
Seriously, the water. The water is everything. You all should be drinking your water. Just a quick reminder, drink your water.
And label your water. That's a wonderful thing to do too, to put a word. Gratitude's a great one to put on your water. And
speak to your water.
Yeah, Masaru Emoto took pictures of what happens to the literal crystalline structure of water when you program it with positive emotions. And that's the same in our bodies. When we're programmed with positive emotion, our crystalline self just rises and sails.
I love that. And I want to share this really quickly. The spirit that never dies is called the mysterious feminine from the Tao Te Ching. Although she becomes the whole universe, her immaculate purity is never lost. Courtesy of Wayne Dyer. Change your thoughts, change your life. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you. And I love that you brought up water and that it's structured. I use my tuning fork. I think that I know that sounds silly, but I do. And I put it right against the glass.
Oh.
And I structure my water. That's what I do. And I also use it like a unicorn. Unicorn.
You are a unicorn.
I am a unicorn. Darn spanking right. I'll tell you what.
Can I just remind everyone? I think a lot of people forget that gratitude is actually a verb. It's an action. It's one thing to be thankful, like, oh, I give thanks. I give thanks to everyone for being here. I give thanks for all the positive, input that you're vibrating out to the universe right now. But I also my actions are what define my gratitude. So how do I show up in this space, my life today, in loving gratitude?
And what happens, Michelle, when we see, like, I think it was you that somebody mentioned a baby earlier. When we see a healthy baby, it's such a miracle. And that's what's happening in all of our lives. That energy is being birthed in us. And by the way, wherever you are, the solstice in Pacific time is at 7:42 p.m. tonight, and that's when the sun moves to 0 degrees of Cancer.
I think that's really cool. What does it mean when it moves to 0 degrees of Cancer?
Well, there's something called the world axis. Aries
Uh-huh.
is the beginning point of that. So Aries, Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn are all points on the world axis. And it's big stuff because it indicates that change is a sure thing. And just as this week has been a bit turbulent in the heavens and on earth, next week, the sun, I think it's the 23rd and the 24th, the sun meets Jupiter. And Jupiter is good fortune and opportunities and luck and openings and faith, hope, charity, the archangels, just wonderful, wonderful energies. And so that's coming up next week. And I feel like the solstice is I feel like we're all going to really feel the energy. You might feel it already. There's a big energy of transition, of course, always with the solstice, but even more so because, so keep that hope going because solutions, opportunities for new possibilities are on the way, courtesy of the universe.
I love it. Well, I want to.
This is the best
Like
representation
that,
I've
sister.
ever
Like
made
that.
of
That
the
is so funny.
sun.
Bring it.
Oh,
Bring it. Explain what that is.
So that's just a little piece of earth art. Um, there was obviously this was made in the fall, not in the summer, but there was this incredible tree that was changing, and every leaf that you see came from the same tree. Um, all the
Extraordinary.
varying different stages of transition that was happening. And then I just said, wow, that looks like that would make this really beautiful, kind of fiery looking thing. And I assembled this and created a little piece of earth art. Yeah.
Woo!
it's
I love.
beautiful.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I think that it's beautiful, and I think it's a really neat process. It's also very meditative. We'll have a show, and you can share more about all of the beautiful artwork that you made, and I would love that. I want to speak to what Michelle was talking about really quick. Michelle, you brought up one of my favorite things, and that is gratitude is an action word. It's an action. It's a verb. And the action that I love to take is who can I be grateful for? Who can I be of service to? Gratitude in how can we be of service? How can we take our heart and leave a heartprint on the planet? What can we do to uplift another human being? I want to tell you guys what happened the other day, real quick, and then we need to hear from Radiance and Kay too. Listen. So I was having a moment, and I needed to get out of the house, and so I did. And when I left, I knew, I needed to reset, do a nervous system reset. And so I did. I drove down to the store. As I'm getting out of the car, there's this young lady that's getting into her car. I say, "Excuse me." And then I notice her hair looks so stinking cute, right? And so I instantly was like, "Your hair looks really cute." Now, mind you, I wasn't in the best of moods, but I didn't really give a shit. I could be of service. I could show up. But I really didn't think about it like that. I just thought about the fact that I really loved her hair. And when you see somebody and you recognize something about them that you appreciate, whether it's their hair, whether it's the way they smiled, whether it's the way that they made you feel like you matter, it's a really important thing to stop and do that. And then I go into the store and then I come back out and I'm getting into my car. And then this other lady across the parking lot says, "You have the cutest outfit on." She's talking to me. And I'm like, the law of reciprocity is so badass. And I was no longer in my flunky flunk. I was in my happy happy because I got my G vibe sparked. And I was, and what Michelle brought up is just on point because that is gratitude in action. And gratitude without action is just mouth service, honestly.
And I think what I'm hearing from you, Deb, is that like you were vocalizing, love and kindness to someone. And that vibration is a ripple effect. We log words into the universe. So that is it's very empowering to come from a place of love and kindness. And I can appreciate that you notice the good in others, that we look for the good and then like kind of then it expands it, doesn't it?
It totally does. You know, who can I be of service to in gratitude?
Michelle just said ripple, right? Did you hear that? Ripple. Embracing gratitude not only enriches our own lives, but also creates a ripple of positivity that can transform the world around us. That's the last paragraph of gratitude in the book.
Go figure.
I love that Michelle said ripple because it is a verb. And if you think about it as a verb, it's a ripple. And it becomes a verb, not a noun anymore, when it ripples. Beautiful.
I love that. We're going to do a ripple. We're going to ripple. Kay or Radiance, who wants to go next? Am I going to eeny, meeny, miny, miny, mo? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Poo, 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 poo. All right, Kay, you're up. You're muted, my love. KK, you're muted.
Unmute.
Unmute, my love. Kay, you're muted. Yes.
Can you unmute her from where you are, Deb?
I can try. I don't think so.
Did it happen?
Woo!
There you go.
Yes.
Well, I was just saying how wonderful it is to find your soul family of like-minded people. And I want to thank Michelle for her music and what she played, because as she was playing that, I had this vision of an infant, a ball of light coming from spirit, and purity and innocence, and just coming to the planet. And it chose this bodysuit to sort of live in. And that sort of segue into my thing of, I started to sing because I felt like I'm from Venus, and I resonate with the energies of beauty, kindness, and love, and peace and harmony. So I thought, God, I've joined the Cosmic Peace Corps of love and light. Well, I've said that for years. Well, now I made my little stickers, pins of the Cosmic Peace Corps of love and light. And it would just, somebody said something that reminded me, I think it was you, Debbie, because when I was 13 years old, I was working this restaurant, and this older lady came in, and she had this really nice hat on. And so I said, well, that's a pretty hat. And she stopped for a second, and she said, sweetheart, don't ever change, because you have no idea what a kind word means to somebody. And I was like, oh, I think I was just thinking out loud. But anyway, that stuck with me. And so now every time I see somebody smiling, because I feel like a smile is an invitation, and so now I just say, that's a beautiful smile. And they get one of my little pins. And the people are so touched that somebody sees them, because sort of good-hearted people are just doing what they do their whole life, and they don't expect that anybody's they're not doing it for that reason. They're doing it because that's in their heart to do it. So I have a collection now of I call them my peace ambassadors, that my vision is that every positive thought neutralizes a negative one, so that a wave of positive energy floods the planet, with enough people are looking for. And I made one of those little things for my Etsy thing, is the good I see in you reflects back the good in me. So when we see the good in others, it's just, I live in gratitude every day. I get up, I thank you, God, for this beautiful day. I welcome all good and miracles coming my way. And son of a gun, you can't believe how many miracles happen when you set the intention that and you believe. So anyway, I'm just very grateful for everybody. And another thing about recently gratitude is that my cat left home for 28 days. So it's like, okay, I don't know what that's about. But in the meantime, one cat I have 7 cats. One of them started having seizures. Another one started peeing everywhere. And another one was throwing up. It's like, what is going on? And then it's like, oh, when did this happen? Oh, I know. It happened when Angel left home. So then I think, well, what am I going to do about this? And so I called on kind of a Native American, my guide, a chief white elk. And I called on him to do some healing. And because why I mention this is because I realized I wasn't the only one that it happened to. it happened to our family, and they were all acting out in their own way, trying to process the fact that their sister didn't come home and the change. So it's like, oh, this wasn't just about me. So anyway, I called on him and to do the healing. And, you know, when I got it, then it all went away. They stopped throwing up, they stopped peeing, and they stopped the seizures. I went and took her to the vet, and they said, well, nothing conclusive. It's like, oh, well, $1,385 later. Thanks for that. But anyway, the idea is that she came home. I just finished watching the movie Somewhere in Time about timeless love. And at midnight, when the movie ended, she was at the back door wanting to get in. It's like, oh my gosh, this is... So I never gave up hope that she wasn't going to come home. So believing, when you're a believer, you're the kind of person that's a believer, then it magnetizes everything, because you don't know when. And that's the thing, is in divine right timing. It's like, okay, not my, thy will be done. You know, I really want her back, but it's not mine to say. So same thing I look at life is that you're the most wonderful blessing. You guys are my blessings today. You're my teacher. It was a lesson. And when I process that, then I let it go, because I do not want to hold on to last night's dinner. So you move through life with ease and grace and flow. So anything that kind of clogs up the stream, you got to fix that. So you can just go through life smoothly. And being grateful is a big help. You can look back on your life and you have all these, it's like, I wouldn't say lucky, but I feel like it's for sure blessed. It's just like, I almost just have to think of something and then it's there. It's like, wow, that was cool. A friend, we were getting a massage, and I was doing a foot massage, and I thought, wow, this feels really good. I haven't had one of these in a long time. I got to do this again. But a week later, I'm home, and there was a package at my front door, and I go, well, maybe Mary Kate sent me a Mother's Day gift or something. I opened it, and there was a note from my neighbor that said, a foot massager. And he said, oh, hi, you know, I thought, I just got one of these. I thought, I bet Kay would like to have one of these. So it's like, oh my God, I was just thinking foot massager. And now one shows up in my house. So it's like, okay, so I'm very much in gratitude for all the good that flows to me for my whole life, wherever it comes from. I'm very grateful, because I feel like a lot of us are sort of earth angels that are here to spread the light, especially in this time of shadow and darkness. We rise up like sleeper cells, spreading our positive energy. And then to find everybody's like, oh my God, these are my peeps. We're all speaking the same language. We're all in gratitude and positive energy. And yeah, we're raising the vibration of the planet, just being us. And the other thing is, like, we're not evangelists. We're not out saying, oh God, do this, that. We're living our life. This is my truth. I bow to your divinity, you bow to mine, and you live your life, I live mine. And if we find some time that we can be together, then we do. And there's no possession. It's like, you're my friend, I want to be around you forever. Honey, I think we all came to do some work on the planet. If we can get together, when we can get together, if it works for you, works for me, we'll do it. So it's like, you kind of like hold people freely, so that you don't become sort of enmeshed, because then you can't move. And the ones that are here to be of service to the planet, we signed up for this for just this time. It's like, we kind of need a little more freedom, unless we're with a partner that's in alignment and we're both doing our work together. But anyway, I've said enough. So
that could be dreamy. Hey, you know what? I'm really glad that your kitty are okay.
Yes, me too.
Glad. I'm really glad that they are. And I love what you were sharing. You know, we are all here, and to honor each other and each of our divinity is such an important thing. And we are so we are family. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that was deep what you shared at the end, especially wrapping it up with about healthy detachment, like, you know, being interdependent rather than codependent. It's so
It's exactly right. In my chart, I have my north node's in Aries, my south node's in Libra. So master codependent. So you live your first half of your life, the first 60 years working through that. And I'm 75. So it's like, okay, now your real life starts. And I think with men, it's a little more difficult in a way because well, certain kinds of men anyway, because their identity is their work, you know, and if they retire and they're not doing that, it's like, well, who am I if I'm not this? So you have to have, and that's why I say to call it retirement is like, don't call it retirement, call it course correction. I was doing this and now I'm doing something else. And to give yourself permission to just be something else other than what you've always been. It's like, well, anyway, so as long as it's fun. I say is if it's not fun, why are we, especially we're this last third of our life, if it's not fun, why are we doing it? And then I thought, well, wait a second, do you know what you're saying? That means everything is not fun, you're not doing. It's like, oh no, I got to change that. It means I got to find a way to make fun out of whatever it is I have to do. Because otherwise I'm having fun, but that stuff's not, no, we want to be whole and complete. But anyway, it's like I said, just in gratitude that every day you wake up. And this, the other thing, kind of a secret is even meeting new people and things like that. No expectations. You accept them as they are in this moment. You know, it's, but I thought you were going to be my new best friend. Well, honey, I think you got to be your own new best friend. And we'll be together when we can be together. But I mean, and some people, maybe I need more space.
You're killing me. I love you. You're just like, you could do comedy with that shit, but it's so real.
Well, some people need connection.
I love you.
And some
Thank you
people,
for keeping it real, girl.
Some people need connection, and some people need space. And when you know who you are, then you can align yourself with the ones that. That's what I'm saying. Is like, my husband died 6 years ago. And I feel it's not really grieving because I feel like we're still hanging out. We go sojourning through the heavens. And I asked him, it's like, honey, what did you do today? And he said, well, I'm going for a swim. It's like, oh, well, he loved the water. So I said, what are you going to do after that? He said, I'm going to go to sleep. How does that work where you are? And he said, well, when nobody's talking to me, I just go lay down and I become the silence between the stars at nighttime. So I thought, to go see my husband look up and see a star that I'm in his energy field like that. Then it's like, oh. But what I did realize that I've grieved is the loss of the life we had together. So I work with the ethers. I'm very comfortable. I'm actually more comfortable with the ethers than here. So that's familiar. Here, it's like, holy cow, 31 years, you get used to a certain way and a certain life, and then when the reality is like it's not if it's up to me, it's not like that because I have a whole team of my guides and angels that are working with me. But the reality, the realization is that you don't have that life anymore. You got to go create a new life for yourself, and it's not better or worse. It's just different. Everything has its own time. So that was wonderful time that I had with him. And now it's like, well, now interdependent. It's like, well, what are you going to do on your own? Where are you going to go? What's your mission? Now, this is at this juncture. It's like, what's your legacy? And I have a guy, Josiah. And so I was luxuriating in bed one day and I thought, God, if this is my last day on the planet, would I be okay? So I asked Josiah, I said, would I be okay? And I heard him say, well, have you done what you came to do? Your mission for the planet? Oh, I don't know, maybe not. But what's going to happen to me if I don't? Well, matter of factly, well, you'll be reassigned to a lesser task. We believe in you and your mission, but if you don't believe in it, we'll reassign you to a lesser task more in line with your level of self-esteem. Like, whoa, no way, honey, get out, get your ass out of bed and get going doing something. But it's just the idea is like, no, why are we here? Why are we still here? So one of my favorite quotes is Mark Twain says the two most important days of your life, the day you're born and the day you know why. So for all of us, it's like, holy cow, do I know why I'm even still here? You guys have amazing stories of things you've overcome and become kind of like leaders, or not necessarily leaders, but mentors to people. Like, you can do this, you got this. I believe in you. And that's a big deal for all of us now, is to believe in each other, our potential. And because a lot of people didn't have childhoods and stuff where they got much of that. So our families, our family now is the one we create. But anyway, it's fun.
Wow.
Even the things that happen that wouldn't particularly be fun, you find a way of making them fun. It's like, okay, it's just energy. Like the I Ching says, this really helped me years ago with the I Ching, where it says the only thing constant's change. Oh, when I get comfortable with change, it's just a shift in direction. And my new favorite word is pivot. I was talking to this lady and she had everything planned. Every single thing of her day was planned. I go, God, what do you do when things happen to come out of the blue that you don't anticipate? She said, I pivot. Oh, plan B. Good. So that's a new good word. We got to have plan B. So it's like, oh yeah, I like that. So if you can't do one thing, well, what can I do? Well, let's pivot to something else then. Not get stuck that it has to be a certain way. But anyway, and once you, like say, you get comfortable with change, like, yeah, just change. It's just change. It's not the end of the world. It's just change. And now, not only that, it's like, well, where are you? Well, honey, this must be where I'm supposed to be, or I'd be somewhere else. So the minute I'm not here, I'm going to be somewhere else, because there's no vacuum in the universe. You know, if we're not here, we're somewhere. So I'm like quantum energy. We can all be together anywhere or everywhere all at the same time. So it's like, yeah, well, it works for me. I like that idea. And especially because I channel, I'm an intuitive medium. So I talk to people in the ethers, other realms and things like that. It's like, oh man, this is really an interesting universe out there of different dimensions. Like, wow, what's it like in your dimension? And I feel like I'm a cosmic correspondent, because I'm so curious. It's like, what's it like in the ninth dimension? What's it like? How do you do this? And so it's like, I got to write a book and, you know, the things that they tell me, what's up there that we don't know, because we think we have a ceiling, but the veil is very thin now. And so you can kind of stick your hand through the veil and somebody might pull you forward to multi-dimensional, being in two worlds at the same time. And people go, oh yeah, you talk to people. It's like, well, first of all, my people aren't telling me to jump off a cliff. So if I heard that, I'd say, get out of my head. But it's also like the old days of pen pals, where you didn't see your pen pal. You just wrote to them and you got a letter back. So it's like, well, it hasn't really changed that much between here and there. So if I talk to somebody in spirit, it's just the same as they're on the other side of the world. You know, it's just on the other side of an energy field. So it's like, oh, okay, no big deal. But anyway.
That's some seriously awesome insight right there. Thank you. Because change, you're right. Change is the only constant. And there is zero that's permanent. Zero. And
except love. Love is the only permanent thing in the universe.
Except love. That's such a good one. Thank you so much, Kay. You guys, I want to share something from a young man named Sam Page. He was supposed to be here tonight, but he is performing. So what he did is he made a little quickie, easy peasy, lemon squeezy video that I can play. And I'm going to do that just real quick because I need to.
Because I can.
Because I can. Here we go.
Hi there, my name is Sam Page, and I am a musician and a spiritual being having a human experience, as one does. And I'm here to share some notes of gratitude. I'm first and foremost grateful that I can do this via this video, since I am, at the time of this event, playing piano in a show, a musical theater production, Xanadu, if you know. And loving that experience too. But so just much gratitude to Debbie Gratitude herself for inviting me to participate and give me the opportunity to do so this way. And I've been experiencing a pretty powerful and profound shift, elevating my vibration and everything over the last 5 years, but especially so the last year and a half. And very thankful for this beautiful, expansive journey, and excited to see where it takes me from here. But my favorite types of notes in general are of the musical variety. So I'll present to you now some musical notes of gratitude, and we'll just see what comes out here. Namaste.
I'm
That was
not even sure.
amazing. You tell him, Debbie. I thought that was amazing.
Oh, I'm dying here. Oh God, you guys, that was so beautiful. What a talented, beautiful, incredible young man he is.
Yes.
And I have been so blessed to hug him in person because, as a matter of fact, so is Michelle, because he was at the Taya with David Strickle. He was at the Taya event, super tall. Yeah, he's an extraordinary young man, and that was just music. Music is transformational. It takes us from a moment of we could be sad, we could be happy, it doesn't matter, and it just lifts us up. And I want to just honor you, Sam, for taking a moment to be here with us, even though you're doing Xanadu. Woohoo! Okay, anybody see Xanadu? Like, really? Oh my God.
No. Where is he performing?
You know what? He's in a play. It's where he lives. It's where he lives in another. It's
Which
another
is,
state,
oh, okay.
which is Debbie doesn't remember.
Well, just please tell him thank you.
I am going to tell him thank you. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring up Radiance, and then before that we all leave, we're all going to just give our last thoughts of the day. Kay, I just got to tell you again, girl. Okay, because I think it was Radiance put it in there, transformational comedian. Yeah, that might be your new calling. So Radiance, to the stage, my darling, to the stage.
Hello, beauties.
Hello, darling.
Hi. Oh my goodness, Deb, this is amazing. Wow. Okay. Well, if everybody could just please touch camera for 1 second, and that way we're like sending that vibe out all around the world. The ding. And then I'm just going to call everybody in for one more moment, as I'm on the East Coast heading toward the lake in a few moments, but just sending this vibe to out around the world. So starting in our hearts, reverence, gratitude, mercy, kindness, goodness, and all of the people who think that nobody's thinking about them today, or that might be without a home tonight, that might be without tonight, and thinking that nobody is considering them, that our hearts would be combined, and that we would meet those people and those souls out on the journey. And then really sending that out around the world. And then a really deep breath to bring peace and stillness and ending the areas of torment. And allowing that to just be swift, gentle, easy, course correct. Quieting the minds. And then just a gentle kindness for humanity and all beings. And then that circles back around and back through everybody's shoulder blades and into the heart space. So it's blessed thousands and thousands of times coming home. Thank you, Deb, for allowing me to be part of this journey with you tonight. Thank you for this team tonight on Solstice and bringing the bright, shining light out around the world. Just, I'm absolutely grateful to be here, and a big wahoo. And I love that this is where I am in the midst of it all, like not having anything any more together than I did when I was 13, and I thought my life was falling apart, but it turns out it's just falling together really serendipitously.
I want to hear another wahoo from you. Yeah, that's so good.
This girl
Oh
has
my
got.
gosh, I love that. That's
I'm
so
glad you
good.
caught that. She's got lungs because this woman can sing.
Wow.
Can you sing?
Oh, I can. I will. All right. I'm gonna get a drink of water. Thank you, water. Thank you for blessing my throat right now. Okay. Oh, Shenandoah, I hear you call me. Away. Your rolling river. Oh, Shenandoah, I hear you call me. Away. We're bound away beyond the wild Missouri. That's what I got for tonight. I'm not all warmed up, but
Oh, we have another. Claudia sings as well. I can't, girl. I'm going to tell you what. You spark that G vibe like nobody's business.
Can I just say that was rather radiant?
thank you. I'm going to go sing it in the middle of the lake in about
Sing
a
to the
half
lake.
hour.
Yes. Lady
Yes,
of the lake.
I'll be in the middle of the lake and I'll sing that one for the world. I'll sing it out.
I'm seriously like, I don't even know what to think. Michelle had to go. Her phone died. I'm trying to.
Well, the moon's going to be in Taurus at the time of the solstice, so that's the voice. Let your voice be heard, everybody.
Yes.
It's ruled by Venus, so beautiful voice, Radiance. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's woohoo! Let's do it already.
Woo!
Woohoo! We woohoo! So,
Debbie, did you say you have a clip from Chris too?
I do. As a matter of fact, I'm about to bring it up right now.
Wow.
Y'all. I am. Thank you. So, everybody, we're going to listen to Chris Palmer. He is the gratitude junkie. He couldn't be here tonight because he is in Mexico enjoying a anniversary with his wifey. And I love that for him. Chris is an amazing human being, and he has brought so many soul connections to my life, and I can't even begin to express how much grateful I am. Chris, you rock. All right, everybody, let's check Chris out.
I've traveled many miles, talked to countless people, asking what they're grateful for in many different ways. Written books, podcast, a digital gratitude art creator. I love to create digital art with other people's voices and what they're sharing in gratitude and about gratitude. It's my passion. So I want to thank unity.org today for allowing me to share this on World Peace Day. Peace and gratitude are definitely two things we should carry around with us all the time. So let's get right to it. And I do recommend you have a physical place to write this journaling. It slows you down. It's more intentional. Having your hand with something and writing and seeing it and reading it, you're layering this experience. Gratitude is all found in our memories. So the most important thing we can do is be present to make those memories. So intentionally by writing, physically writing and saying these things, you're going to create more memories, and it's going to be more here as you go about your day, which is going to assist you in having the best day possible. So having said all that, which was really wordy, here we go. The first thing I write in my journal every day is I get to see the show. And this kind of falls back on the idea which Marcus Aurelius wrote a long time ago. He said, when you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. And then even more recently, and I have his voice in my head from A Grateful Day with Brother David Steindl-Rast. I quote, he says this, he says, you think this is just another day in your life. It's not just another day. It's the one day that is given to you. Today, it is a gift. So I like to say I get to see the show. And when I originally wrote that, I was putting out there that I got to see the sunrise. I get to be here, life. I get another day. We're all promised nothing. So when you wake up in the morning, or in the evening or whatever it is, you get to see the show. Okay, what's next here? Next up, I go right into an affirmation. Today's going to be an amazing day. Today is going to be an amazing day. If you're going to have a thought or affirmation in the morning, I highly recommend this one. You could obviously figure out another way to say a very similar thing, but today's going to be an amazing day. And by making that statement, what you're doing is you're going to start looking for that. You're going to go out yourself. You're going to, why is today an amazing day? And you're going to see things that you wouldn't, specifically because you've put this thought in your head first thing in the morning. Okay, next, I write, I am open to all the gifts and lessons the universe wants to offer me. Now, you can substitute the universe for any faith or belief you have. But the thing here is, just being open to receiving gifts and at the same time, lessons. Now, we all know gifts are very easy and some lessons are really hard. They take a lot longer to look at and to realize and to learn from. But if you're gonna we like to label things, right? So if we want to say all experiences are either gifts or lessons, this is a great way to get in this habit, because a lesson is something you can learn from. A lesson isn't somebody talking down to you. A lesson isn't a punishment. It's something you can learn from. It's something to better you. It's something to shine some light on something, to make you a better human being, someone moving forth that's going to continue to learn and grow. So gifts and lessons, I'm open to them. And the amazing thing about saying this is you'll look for it. You'll start to go, well, hey, that's a lesson right there. Or, hey, that's a gift. And it's going to fill you up with gratitude. So next up, another affirmation though. I am enough. I am enough. I write this every day because I don't want to live and go out in the world and feel like I need something to fulfill me. That's something, there's some sort of, that idea. A lot of people have this idea, if I had this better job, or if I had this amount of money, or if I lived in this certain home, or if I was with this certain person, that I would be fulfilled, right? But truth of the matter, we all know that when we get these things, they're not fulfilling that need inside of us. Honestly, the only person that can give that to you is yourself. And I start with myself and say, I am enough. I have everything I need. I'm not worried about it. I go out feeling enough, and I feel that I get more. And at the same time, I'm not walking around with lack. I'm not feeling like I get to see the day. I know it's going to be a beautiful day. I know there's going to be gifts and lessons all over the place, and I'm enough. I don't need anything else. Everything come at me is, like I said, it's a gift or a lesson. It's not a necessity. I have everything I need. So that's where that statement comes in. And then next, I write the word remember, and I put my wife's name here, but you could put anyone's name in your life that you love, or anyone who has loved you in the past. This could be, the person doesn't have to be alive, but what you want to do is you want to remember that moment about someone who loves you, and think of some memories. Okay, step into some memories. They could be really old, or they could be fresh. Because I say this with my wife, is I think of something usually cute or funny that she made me smile, or something that happened the day before, just to remember how grateful I am that she's in my life and that she loves me. So take that any way you want to do it, but this remembering section it's a really grounding moment that really holds me. And then lastly, I write the word health, and I put ... And I started doing this back in 2020 when the pandemic hit. And it originally was a really short list of just people in my life that I love. And it's the fact that they're alive, right? And since I've been doing this the last couple of years, it's a very long list. And And it's just a perfect button at the end of this journaling process to go through people in my life that love me and I love them. And I'm just so grateful that they're alive. They may not be in perfect health, but they're alive, and they're in my life. And I'm incredibly grateful that they are. And it's a reminder. It's a reminder. We've got to build in these reminders, guys. We have to. It's just too easy to just let stuff go. The good stuff that happens every day is the easiest to overlook because it's always there. But as we know, nothing's permanent. So let's appreciate the best we can now. So thank you, unity.org. I'm Chris Palmore, the Gratitude Junkie, and that was my morning gratitude journaling process.
Chris is like a grand finale almost. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I want to thank Chris for that. That was a video that he did for me when we did World Peace Day on Unify, unify.org. If you guys don't know about that, please definitely check it out. Oops, I want to talk about gratitudespace.com. That is where you can find all of the creative works from Chris, which I really highly encourage you all to do. The other thing I want to do really quick is play one more thing because it's important. So across the screen, I was playing, it's important. Every day I get texts, gratitude infusion, every single day. These texts come and they're reminders of different ways to be in gratitude and different practices. And so I want to share just quickly how to join gratitude infusion. Okay, just real quick.
Joining daily gratitude infusions is quick and easy. First, text 502-289-6799. Then, type the special word that was shared with you earlier. Finally, hit send. After you hit send, you'll get an instant reply saying, "Hi, this is Gratitude Space." You're almost signed up. Just one more step to go. Click the link below to finish and start receiving your daily gratitude infusions. It's quick and easy. The most important step is clicking the link. You're almost there. All right, so once you click the link, just fill out the brief form with your details. When you get to the city field, type the first letter of your city, and a drop-down list will appear. Pretty simple, right? Once completed, you'll receive a welcome text message, officially joining the Gratitude Space texting community. And just like that, you're in. Now feel free to share this with someone who could use a daily boost of gratitude. With appreciation, Chris Palmore, the Gratitude Junkie.
And y'all, I highly encourage you doing it. It's a super fun thing to do. And I love that. So we're coming to the end here, and I just want to thank everybody. I am going to play another quick little snippet, y'all, just because I need to. You know, there's a lot of things in this world that I love, and one of them is the work that Michelle does, as was talked about earlier. And just so you guys get more of an impact of who she is and what she brings to the table, I'm going to play this really quick.
Welcome to Cielo Sober Living, a spiritual haven in Coachella Valley, featuring 12-step work, sound bath meditation, conscious recovery meetings, and other holistic practices to build a strong foundation. Michelle Garcia brings value to the program with a holistic approach. She guides and supports residents with care and dedication. Meals are provided, and dinner is shared together each night. Experience a safe and nurturing environment that fosters growth and healing. To learn more about our transformative offerings at cielosoberliving.com or call 877-394-8355.
That was awesome. Woo! Thank you, Michelle, for all you do. So he sent the video. Chris sent the video to you. Chris sent the video to you and said if you could follow the instructions, anyone could. I love that.
I'm a little bit tech challenged, or at least I was in the past. So I said, Chris, if you can make a video so good that I could follow it, then anybody can do it. He's like, okay, that's a good baseline. And so you see what he created. And I think anybody can follow that. I think we're good.
I love that. I love that. Really quick, I want to talk about Cherry Angel's book. It's called Angelic Whispers, Divine Wisdom for the Soul. She couldn't be here either, and I'll just open it up really quickly. You do not have to have all the answers to everything, as that is impossible to do. This is where faith and trust come in. The more important question to consider is how you're spending the time you do have as you experience life on earth. Are you being loving and kind? Do you honor and respect others and the planet we're on? These are the things we could have you look at rather than trying to analyze and make everything fit into the great puzzle. Kind of sounds like UK.
Oh, that sounds good.
I like that. So we're going to go ahead and we're coming to the end. I will be playing Karen Palmer's beautiful song as we exit out. But before that we do, I would like all of us to take a couple of minutes and just share our ending thoughts on today. Jay, we haven't heard from you in a minute.
Thank you. First and foremost, I want to thank each of you for touching my heart today. I want to thank you, Deb, for inviting me in today. I also want to share a piece of my gratitude as it related to going through the grieving process real briefly. I just want to share a highlight. And that highlight is that at some point in the grief, in my daily prayers, I decided to change my prayer. My prayer changed from asking God to allow me to go through this death of a relationship with grace and gratitude to trusting Him and saying, I will trust that when I've had enough of the grieving process, you will set me free. And part of that freedom, God, will be I have no desire to get into the dating game, no desire to go into dating apps, no desire to chase that next love. Instead, Source, I will trust that you will know, only you know, when I'm ready to embrace love again, but love without pain, love without judgment, love with gratitude and grace. I said, I will trust that you'll set that beautiful soul on my path. And He did. And through that incredible experience, I've met a beautiful soul who sees me, understands me, honors me, respects me 100%. And I'm reciprocating 100% for her. And it's a new season. It's a new season of hope, a new season of growth. And for that, I will forever be grateful. So yes, there's hope at the end of a death of a relationship.
I love that, Jay, and I honor that for you. And it's like what Kay was saying. It's just change. You're just learning to go with the flow. You're pivoting.
Pivot.
All right, pivot. And you know, it is a hard thing because we can become enmeshed in times with people. And I like what Kay was talking about interdependence, you know, because it's such an important thing. I personally like my quiet time in my space. So I am interdependent.
I get it.
and I think most of us here, you know, it's kind of how that can look. So Michelle, would you like to say us something?
I was just having so much fun listening to all that gratitude and those positive affirmations. They're so fueling. Yeah, I underlying kind of theme was hope, that there's always hope, and if we can always reignite the hope and stay, you know, in trust that, there's a brighter tomorrow. I think I enjoyed what the one woman talked about on here when I think she's the astrologer, just kind of like how things are coming into a place of like, where new birth can come out of it, and as that relates to politics and everything going on in the world right now, I can really appreciate the thought of that and the visualization of that, like that newness can come out of it, and maybe some new awarenesses will come out of it that are good, that are for the highest good for all concerned. And learning lessons, because there's a lot of vocal going on, at least right now, which is tumultuous actually, and there's a lot of comedy. Thank God people are making jokes about it, because it brings laughter, and laughter is so healing to the soul. I mean, if nothing else, and I know that I've done my work when I can laugh at what's going on about myself, that things that are maybe more challenging to take a look at or something, and I can know, if I'm at least doing the work around it, I can laugh, and because I don't take myself that seriously today. You know what I mean? And that's important. And I just want to honor everyone for showing up and sharing their bit about what they can, and your wisdom speaks volumes to my heart. I really appreciate it. And I think collectively we've done some good here tonight, and I hope that the viewers have enjoyed and got something, maybe even just one thing that they can take into their day, their evening, their life, to make it better, and to bring more support, because we all, the unity and support in what we set out to do with this podcast is it's really our intention, is to just bring unity and support into positive way for your days. I don't know. I hope that I can take some of the things sometimes it's about remembering who we really are, for me, and just always staying in my center and grounded and connected to life that is. And yeah, I don't know. That's about all, Debbie. I mean, I really appreciate you taking the time to make this so magical, because you really, yeah, you make a difference. We all
So do
do.
you. We all do. I
Anyway.
love that. And then my darling Kay.
Oh my goodness, thank you everybody for being here, and like I said, being authentic and just sharing your truth, and with love and light in your heart. And you just know when you meet people, it's kind of like when you're an empath. I imagine all of us are empaths. You just feel people, so you can feel people being honest with themselves and with us. So anyway, that's thank you all for being your best self. I was thinking about this, about like relationships, and I was thinking about this interdependent. I was thinking, you go through your first half of your life, like you said, in that sort of codependent thing, if that's in you, and then it's kind of like, wait a second, I've got to love myself. And when you start loving yourself, because there's I don't see a reliable source outside of me, so I'm going to love myself. And then when you do, you kind of get a little bit, it's not like snarky, but it's like, I never want to be with anybody that doesn't want to be with me. So the minute somebody doesn't want to be with me, it's like, thank you for your, they say people in our life for a reason, season, or lifetime. And so when I process you're the most wonderful, you guys are all my blessings today, you're my teachers, or it was a lesson. And it was all of those things. So when you do that, it's like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Now next, because if you hold on to somebody and they don't want to be held on to, then you don't have anything. It's just a shell. So it's like, no, I want to, we don't know how long anyone's path is how long anyone's going to be in our life. So we just appreciate them, enjoy them for as long as they're there, and we bless them on their path the day that they aren't. And even the adversity, I think, okay, if not this, something better. So we have no idea what the master plan is, and we hope somebody. It's like somebody calls a meeting. I wasn't at that meeting where all this was decided, but I know somebody was. So you just kind of flow through life. It's like, oh, but when you're somebody that you work on yourself, and every time I have a judgment about something, whatever, from the La Brea tar pit of the subconscious stuff bubbles up, then I just go, oh, okay, is that about them or is that about me? Why is that what they're doing? Why does that bother me so much? And then when I process it, figure it out, it's like, oh yeah, this isn't about them. This is about you. It's you got triggered. Then it's like, oh, okay, well, let that one go and wait for the next one to come up. But you don't force them. They just come up when you're ready. And that's the thing I like. I wrote this book called Flower Power, Your Soul Personality Revealed. So I feel like we're all flowers from Venus. We came here to shine our light and raise the Venetian values. But everyone's different. So I had a bed and breakfast in San Diego, and the idea that in the garden of life, there's room for everyone, because I lose nothing of me by standing next to you. You can be you, I can be me, and we can thrive in the garden of life. And so I was going through all this, and then I had a guest, and I said, oh, if you could be a flower in the garden of life, what would you be? And he said, Venus flytrap. I said, oh, God, that wasn't the vision I had of the garden. But then I was processing, I thought, you know what? There are Venus flytrap people out there, and if you stumble into them and you're not paying attention like a cactus or something, you're gonna get their attention, or they're gonna get your attention. So it's like, wow. But what you can't say, there's room for everybody, and then say, well, yeah, but I don't like that one. No, there's either oneness, there's either room for everyone, despite our differences. So I see everybody as an intricate piece of the puzzle of humanity. And without, I had my bed and breakfast, I saw this homeless guy and said, I'm Jesus Christ. So I went home and told the guests that they'd taken the whole house. And I said, oh my God, I just saw this guy said, I'm Jesus Christ. And the man, he was orthodontist from Washington or something. He said, oh my God, that's disgusting. Those people take up space on the planet. It's like, oh, well, that's interesting overreaction. But I was thinking, in the puzzle of life, we're all individual, unique pieces, but if one piece is missing, it's not complete. So how do you know that homeless guy is not the impetus for you to be a workaholic orthodontist? Like you're running away from that. It's like, oh God. So it's just interesting, people's reactions to what, but I see the world as a puzzle, and we're all valuable pieces. No matter what it looks like, who it is, whatever it is, we're all part of the one. But anyway.
Yes, Kay.
Thank you guys for being my friends today.
Yes.
You're such a poet, you.
Oh my
Tell you
goodness.
what,
A what? I'm a what?
a poet, and you
Poet.
didn't know it.
Oh, a poet?
Yeah.
Really?
And you didn't know it.
I didn't know it.
Pop it
I
off
tell
one
you
after
what.
another.
Well, you know what? I could have had a
Just
clue
channel
because
one thing after another. Vroom, vroom, vroom.
I could have had a
As
clue.
a therapist, to try to track you, it's a little bit work. It's really wow. But I can. But like you are a lot. You are
Prophetic
a high
wisdom.
vibrational woman. Thank you for
Prophetic
that.
wisdom.
Is that same as scattered or
No.
No, you're.
But
you're just-
anyway, when you say
you spark the G vibe, honey.
Oh,
Yeah.
What you do.
thank you. When you
That's
say
right.
a poet, it's like, oh, I didn't know I was a poet. Well, I could have had a clue because I got 800 poems that I've written, because
Oh,
that's how I
nice.
process whatever happens in my life. I write a poem about it to just spill
What
my
a good
guts.
thought. I like that.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, maybe I am, but anyway.
Hey, it was a pleasure to meet you this evening.
Thank you. It's a pleasure for me. It's like, oh my God, these are an island of humanitarian kind of people. That's what I'm saying. Is like for years I felt like we came from Venus. Oh my God! Now we're all coming together to figure out a way to shine our light brightly and keep smiling and lift the vibration of the planet. So everyone's out doing. You generally don't find people. That's why it's so special today to have a group, because generally everyone's out doing their spirit work, their soul work, doing their own thing. So to have a collection of like-minded, soul-hearted people. It's like, wow, what a treasure. So you guys are all my treasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
And our
I hope
last,
to see you again.
The Earth Artist.
Very simple. We complicate things. There's a tiny little prayer. It's so powerful. It's the Serenity Prayer.
Oh, I love that.
It is actually the Serenity Solution.
Oh.
When we wrote the book, The Someday Solution, it was incomplete, but I didn't have the connection. I just didn't have the connection at the time. It's truly the Serenity Solution, because serenity creates the soil for everything to grow from. Think about how simple it is. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. It's no more complicated than that.
I agree with that.
We, as spiritual beings having a human experience, are complicating it. The gift was given to us in those words. We just need to remember, we need to remind ourselves to live from that space. And I think if we do, one day at a time, right? Thank God tomorrow is kept for us. We don't have to worry about it. We just need to be here now where our feet are, just for today. Live that way. And I think everything will unfold naturally for us the way it does. And the evidence of that is that it does every day.
I say a prayer. I mean, not a prayer, but I just get up singing, one day at a time, sweet Jesus. That's all I'm asking of you. Just for today, show me the way. Not one day, 1 hour at a time, whatever it is. Just help. But that's surrender. It's like the serenity, but also surrendering the ego. And it's like, okay, you want me here? Show me how to be here. You want me somewhere else? Show me that. I'm okay. Thy will be done.
Yeah.
And when you get out of that, you stop fighting yourself. It's like, oh God, it feels so good to just be at peace.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Debbie? All of you.
Debbie?
Yeah.
Bring us home.
Spark that G vibe.
Bring us home, girl.
Well, first off, I have to say, Kay, you just reminded me of my grandma so much because she used to sing that to me all of the time. And you are my sunshine. That was her other.
Oh my God, those are two of my favorite songs. She must be here with us then, or it wouldn't. That's how like channeling. That's synchronicity is how stuff shows up like that.
That's what I'm thinking. Mm-hmm. So there was so much powerful energy that came through tonight and so many beautiful words that all of us can just kind of hold on to. And the biggest one is that we are all worthy and deserving, like I said earlier, but we're here we equalize. We're human equalizers. We can use these tools to shift, change, pivot, enjoy life in a different way. We all have stuff, but how are we responding to the stuff? And that is the biggest key. And gratitude is that energy. I had a friend named Bob Miller many, many moons ago, and he's no longer on the planet. And one of the things that I appreciated about him is that he did practice gratitude success. And every day for 504 days, he would make a video. This is before videos were a thing, y'all. And this was 2015. And he would make a video edifying people in his life. And that's what I want to tell you is that I want you to think about right now. Somebody, whether they're currently in your life, whether they've passed away, doesn't really matter. Whether they're not. And I want you to just go into that energy and feel into what that they brought to your heart. What did they bring to your soul? How did it feel? And I encourage you to go and write this down. Let it permeate through your body, this feeling. But then if they're still on the planet, pick up the phone. Do it. Just pick up that phone and text them, call them, email them, do something. What I know is that when somebody hits our heart, it's because they have a need to be reminded that they're important and they're valuable. And it is a beautiful thing when we can show up in gratitude and be of value to somebody else. And I want you to take that feeling that you had, and I want you to realize that you're able to help somebody else smile. And if you can do that, that's everything. Leaving a heart print on the planet is what I want you to do. I want you to go out there and intentionally shine that light that is yours. See, we get stuck in this is happening to me and that is happening to me and blah, 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 blah. Whanny, call the ambulance, please. Get a emergency butt hurt kit for your hemorrhoidal ass to sit down on. Well, I have to get one for myself anyway and call myself the ambulance. Get a notepad and start writing down how bad the life is. And the best way to get out of it is to be of service in gratitude to another human being, to find somebody that you can shine your light on. Your life is going to change. The trajectory of your life will change. Period. It's going to happen. Well, shit's going to change anyway. Y'all want to do it with some ease and grace, or you want to do it where it sucks? It's all up to you. I mean, that's really how it rolls. And I do it both ways because I am perfectly, imperfectly human. I am perfectly, imperfectly human, and so are all of you. And in that imperfectness lies the gems of life. All of them. Because when we start honoring that, we know without your dark, you wouldn't know your spark. Cha! And with that, I want to say thank you to everybody for being part of a symphony of gratitude. It has been an extraordinary evening, and I thank all of you. So I ask for all of you to just hold tight for a minute. We're going to listen to Karen Palmer quickly. Another quickly. And I appreciate your patience with me. You know, I'm running the back end and I'm kind of slow sometimes.
Hi, I'm Karen Palmer, and I'm a mom who's on
This
a
is a really
crusade to
special.
spread
This
global
is really
kindness
special.
in our schools, senior centers, with animals, and worldwide. And that's why I
Aw.
wrote this song.
If we all took the time to care, there'd be no one alone out there. We're all in this together, connecting hearts in every weather. Play your part, make a start, share your heart, spread it wide. Global kindness going viral now. Share the love, that is how we will have kindness now. Share a message of hope and joy. Global kindness, it's possible today. Spreading kindness, touching hearts in every way. Global kindness, it's easy to start. Global kindness, just open up your heart. 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 We're bringing kindness back. We're bringing kindness back. We're bringing kindness back. We're bringing kindness back. 'Cause kindness pumps you up. Kindness pumps you up. 'Cause kindness pumps you up. Kindness pumps you up. Growing and growing the more we speak. Kindness, compassion's at its peak. I challenge you, you challenge me. We are one global family. There's unity in all we see. So spread this wide and find a way. Do something kind every day. Global kindness going viral today. Spreading kindness, it's just the only way. Global kindness, it's easy to start. Global kindness, just open up your heart. 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 We're bringing kindness.
That was the incredible Karen Palmer. Please go visit globalkindnesstv.org, globalkindnesstv.org. I thank you, everybody that has been here tonight. 1, 2, 3, gratitude.
Gratitude.